if you cannot bear Hillary Clinton, you can't stand the sight of her. I have to believe you'd rather have her naming a Supreme Court justice kowtowing to a Judiciary Committee made up of hopefully a majority of Democrats, being able to push through her nominee rather than Donald Trump coming up with, you saw the list of judges he gave?
Yes.
Yeah,
They were, but they were white, and that's important.
It's important. I mean, but there are white justices.
pander.
The Democrats have nominated white people before.
And honestly,
You're fine.
And that's
you
that's
just don't want to pander.
That's the strongest argument in supporting Hillary. I don't like her as a candidate.
I think it's the second strongest, but I'll return to that.
Okay,
Sorry.
the idea of Trump nominating a Supreme Court justice, maybe 2 Supreme Court justices, scares the hell out of me, especially considering what he said about reproductive rights, especially considering what he said about pretty much everything, every policy idea he has. Now, granted, I don't think he really knows what his own politics are, and I don't think he's really genuine in anything he says. So would he actually punish women for getting abortions? I have no idea. Would he really ban all Muslims from coming to the country? I have no idea. Would he actually go after the innocent family members of Muslim terrorists and target them? I have no idea. I don't think he has any idea. But it still scares me that a wild card, crazy person like Donald Trump could nominate Supreme Court justices. With that said, I still can't get over the thing about Bernie Sanders supporters brandishing a chair. I can't get over it. I can't stop thinking about it. And every time I even consider rallying any type of support behind Hillary, I think of that, and it was so dirty and it was such a low blow, considering the fact that Bernie Sanders has been very highbrow in his campaign. He's only attacked her on the issues. He did not exploit the email scandal at all to attack her.
Big
you know,
mistake.
I mean, it ended up being a huge mistake. You're right.
I don't
but,
know if it was or not. I don't think it was. I think it spoke to who he was.
Yeah.
I kind of want to, at the convention, in like a hallway where there aren't a lot of people, I want to pick up a chair and I want to throw the chair so that at least it's true, sort of. So that they're not lying.
No, but the worst part about it, John, the worst part about it, the worst part is that it was a lie and it happened, but that lie keeps getting repeated in the media today, right?
I know.
No evidence of anyone throwing a chair. In fact, Hillary's camp came out and said, brandishing a chair.
Brandishing.
What the fuck does that mean? That doesn't mean that anyone's violent. Does
You
that mean
brandish
someone...
a rapier before you swing across a room, you know, on the chandelier.
Oh, now you're calling her a rape. Now you're calling her a rapier.
So it's one thing it's that there's no evidence, and two, if you're in a room with literally hundreds or thousands of people, and there's chaos going on, everything is being filmed. If something happened, it's being filmed. Everybody's got an HD 4K camera in their pocket, and if people are going crazy, they're filming it to make a viral video out of it. If you don't have video of it, it's because it didn't happen. You always have the, but what about the Supreme Court argument? But that this time, it's not hypothetical.
You're right.
It's gonna happen.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Well, it's waiting to happen, and also it's never been
I don't know
used.
it's ever happened.
He just said I would know, but all right.
Here's what I would,
assumed you would
Here's
know.
what you know what I say to that, right? So there's a reason why we don't have to worry about a Justice Bork. And the reason why is because the Democrats in the Senate stood up to him. And right now, Barack Obama nominated a judge who we don't know is going to overturn Citizens United. Right now, we have a Democrat, a lefty, who's further to the left than Hillary is. And right now, he's nominating someone we don't know how if he's going to get money out of politics. And not only will they not confirm, they won't even fucking give him a meeting. They won't even give him a hearing, and that's going to go on for over a year. So if the Democrats had a spine, they could stand up and they could say, no, if you nominate someone who's crazy, we're not going to, or who's not for getting money out of politics, we're not going to even give him a hearing.
They can put
could do
some
that.
pressure, but they can't get a liberal.
But they
can get a less
they could do whatever they
crazy
want.
conservative.
They could do whatever they want. The Republicans are proving
Senators
right now.
can do whatever they want.
Yes.
Democratic senators can
Yes.
only keep their powder. They'll keep their powder dry. That's the thing. They let through some crazy.
I'm just saying they could. And so I had this argument with Sam Cedar, this debate with Sam Cedar, and he says, but you know the Democrats in the Senate aren't going to stand up to them. And I'm like, so you want me to support a party that doesn't have a fucking spine to stand up in the Senate? So I got to vote
I want you
for
to
her?
support the progressive part of a party that has no spine and won't stand up for itself. But also, like, I honestly don't even remember the guy's name because he hasn't been in the news for like 6
Merrick?
weeks. Merrick, yeah, because they're not going to
Merrick Garland?
Merrick Garland is not as strong of a liberal as I would have liked him to have nominated. By the people who grade this sort of thing, he would be the most conservative of the Supreme Court justices that Obama had put on the court, but he would still be far to the left of the most liberal conservative on the court, which would mean since he's replacing a crazy conservative on the court, it would still be a historic shift on the Supreme Court. If theoretically he takes him out and names someone else. Or Hillary Clinton became president and named somebody else. Even if that person wasn't everything that we wanted, just by its very nature of replacing Scalia, that is a historic change that could reverberate and change so many different policies for literally years or decades. And one more on top of that, either to replace a conservative or to save Ginsburg's seat. Like if instead...
She won't go first. I mean, Kennedy will probably, I would bet Kennedy.
Is Kennedy older?
Kennedy's been on the court longer.
Okay. Well, that would be less important. But if Merrick Garland instead becomes crazy, wacko Christian right-winger, and then Ginsburg or Kennedy becomes crazy, whack job right-winger, and you have a 6-3 crazy conservative majority in the Supreme Court, what do we have after that?
And you
we
can
have nothing
always,
after
you
that.
can always vote the president out. In 4 years, if you don't like her,
It
you
could
can
be
get rid of her.
decades.
You can't vote the justice out.
But-
And so that's, I mean, look at George H.W. Bush gave us Clarence Thomas. He also accidentally gave us David Souter. They gave us Clarence Thomas, gone.
But can we vote her out?
What-
Like, as Democrats, can we vote her out?
Well, I mean,
Not really. I mean, if anybody tries to challenge her in the primaries after
no-
her first term, they're the bad guy.
There's a
How
lot-
dare you?
There's a
You
lot
can't
to
do
look
it,
at. A lot
right?
of time. If there's a lot of time
Yeah.
between now and election day, there's even more, obviously, between that. But
Yeah.
yes, you're right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unlikely. But if you're not happy with
Mm-hmm.
if she gives you what John says on the court, you know, and I would argue that Anthony Kennedy is more important than Ginsburg, and that Anthony Kennedy is the swing vote on the.
Yeah, I get what you're
you
saying.
want that seat more than you want the
And
others.
with her age, yes, he's probably
And
more.
Anthony Kennedy, I think, would probably rather have Hillary Clinton pick his replacement than Donald Trump. I mean, that's a
I
guess.
believe so,
I've never
too.
met the man, but I'm just guessing.